This is Michael Popok. You're on the new Legal AF YouTube channel, and I'm at the intersection. We've got some troubling news. It stinks to high heaven, the ethical conflicts here and potential crimes, a trade-off potentially between a federal judge and a criminal defendant in front of her, in which she may have been promised or thought that if she did the bidding of Donald Trump and dismissed his case, she would get the plum assignment of Attorney General. Now we've got the new reporting. You got a secretly leaked memo from the Trump transition team in which they laid out a flow chart, an organizational chart of all the attorneys and judges that they wanted to fill all the top positions, all the top law positions in the White House, in the Attorney General's office, in the FBI, and all the other cabinet positions. And atop of the list, sitting at number 2 apparently, is Aileen Cannon, the judge who just 2 months ago dismissed 40 felony counts against Donald Trump. If you didn't think there was a quid pro quo, there certainly looks like there was. And that's the point of this hot take. The fact that it looks so bad, that there's an odor about it that undermines the integrity of the court system is what is the most troubling. Now, Aileen Cannon, the judge, may not have intentionally dismissed the case in order to curry favor with her patron, Donald Trump, who appointed her to the position a federal judge, but it certainly looks that way. She may not have thought that if she did the first thing, she's the only judge in 250 years of constitutional jurisprudential practice and jurisprudence to ever find that a special counsel or special prosecutor or independent counsel is an improper delegation of inferior officer authority under the second Article 2 of the Constitution. She's the only one. Even the United States Supreme Court in the Nixon case found that a special counsel was appropriate, but not Aileen Cannon. And at the time, it was a head scratcher. We're like, wow, she's way out there on a limb. I mean, we knew Clarence Thomas, her boss on the Supreme Court, had already blew her love notes and love kisses and told her in a concurrence in another decision, you should find that the special counsel is improperly delegated authority to and is improperly appointed, and that'll get rid of the whole indictment. And lo and behold, Clarence Thomas set the table, and Aileen Cannon tied on a napkin, knife and fork, and ate at it. And she immediately dismissed the case in all 40 counts. It's up on appeal. And that's one of the points of this hot take. The 11th Circuit has a wake-up call. There should be a siren going off at the 11th Circuit. Their hair should be on fire, and they should be immediately to try to reinstall and instill confidence in the justice system. If that's even possible, they should fire Aileen Cannon from this case. The case is not closed. It's up on appeal. It could be returned to her if they were to reverse it, unless they find that it'd be inappropriate to return it to her. I suggest and posit that it is now impossible to return it to her, that it looks to everybody, every objective observer, that she tried to earn her keep and buy an attorney general position. And even if that's not true, that's what it looks like. And I got another wake-up call, and another 5-alarm alarm going off directed at Special Counsel Jack Smith, right? Drop the gloves, sharpen the elbows. Get more ruthless in your defense of democracy and our rule of law. You file the paper with the 11th Circuit. You tell them that on behalf of the American people, you represent the United States of America. File a paper on our behalf and demand her immediate removal from the case. It gets worse. I don't know if that's possible. She's listed as the number 2 for an attorney general position. Guess who would be listed? Who's listed right under her as her deputy that would be reporting to her? You can guess in the comments. Todd Blanche, the criminal lawyer for Donald Trump in the very case involving Judge Cannon and Mar-a-Lago. Think about this, Old Home Week. Judge Cannon is the boss, the attorney general, and her underling, deputy attorney general, is Todd Blanche, the criminal lawyer in front of her. And how did they all get the job? The criminal defendant, indicted for 40 felony counts, gave them the job. And if you think that's not great, then you're going to hate this. Let's bring all of the Mar-a-Lago lawyers and judges and put them all in plum positions in Donald Trump's administration. Because Stan Woodward, the lawyer who's representing the other 2 co-defendants with Donald Trump and Mar-a-Lago, Walt Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira, he's on the short list for a deputy attorney general position. So it could be Blanche, Woodward reporting to Aileen Cannon. And it only gets worse from there. The leaked memo shows that if it's not them, it's Jeff Clark, he was the last attorney general standing for Donald Trump. He was involved with the insurrection, except the Supreme Court gave him immunity and gave Donald Trump immunity about their interactions. He's the guy that famously said, let's use the Insurrection Act to suppress and oppress American people who would object to Donald Trump clinging to power and not turning over the reins to Joe Biden. Crush dissent with the Insurrection Act. This is consistent with Donald Trump saying out loud in the last few weeks, the enemy within, the press is the enemy within, the Democrats are the enemy within, any of his political opponents are the enemy within that he's going to put in Trump internment camps and concentration camps and prosecute. If he's not saying it out loud, people like J.D. Vance are saying it out loud, and people like Kash Patel. Kash Patel should not get anywhere near the Oval Office, but is rumored to be Donald Trump's choice for CIA director. He has absolutely zero experience in the intelligence community, but he is a loyalist of Donald Trump. And he recently said, he's literally said, we're going to jail members of the media and in the Democratic Party if we get back into power. I mean, that's like a dare. We should not take him up on it. We should keep all of these people as far away from the White House as possible with our vote in November. So if you don't like the idea of Aileen Cannon looking like she got rewarded for dismissing the case against Donald Trump, joined by all the defense lawyers. Here, wait, sit down. I forgot this one. Grab a big pot of bourbon. The person that's vetting and putting this whole list together for the transition team, headed by a Wall Street guy and Linda McMahon of the World Wrestling Federation, is Boris Epshteyn, who's the unindicted co-conspirator in the D.C. election interference case. He's the longtime fixer and consigliere for Donald Trump. He put together all of his legal teams. He was the replacement for Michael Cohen, if you're following along in the Trump home game. And he's been indicted in Arizona. That's the guy that's putting together the list to sweep all of these people, the shadow exile Department of Justice Attorney General positions into office. And then if you don't get the Attorney General position, don't worry. This is like a game show. We've got the White House counsel position for you. You don't like that, Todd Blanche? You don't like Deputy Attorney General answering to the judge that you were just defending your client in front of? You can have the FBI director position. That's how the list works. And then there's even scarier people below. You've got Mike Davis, rumored to be a top candidate for one of these positions, including Attorney General. He likes talking about putting people in gulags and internment camps and putting children in cages as part of the inhumane immigration policy of Donald Trump. Okay? And then you got a guy you never heard of who might be the scariest of them all in Mark Paoletta. Mark Paoletta's claim to fame? Close personal friend with Clarence Thomas, who defended Ginny Thomas in front of the Jan 6 committee. MAGA to the core. Buddies with Clarence Thomas. It's all we need. Clarence Thomas now has complete control over the Attorney General position. I just called for Clarence Thomas to be investigated by a special counsel. It's not going to happen. Well, it'll never happen with Donald Trump. Now, there's another firewall of protection here I want to leave this hot take on. Voting is first. If you properly vote, and we don't have this problem, right? It's like It's a Wonderful Life. We wake up and our wife is there, our children are there. There's no Potter's Field. You know that movie? Okay. If we do it right, if we don't have that problem, at the very least, make sure the Senate goes blue. So we don't have an apocalyptic scenario at the Supreme Court, the federal court system, the appellate courts, and confirming these crazies. I mean, I'm not sure Aileen Cannon gets through a confirmation process if the Democrats are in charge of the Senate. If it's Republicans, if somehow they get the Senate and they get the presidency, look out. Look, I'll be recording podcasts from I'll be like a renegade radio station, low wattage radio station, driving around your neighborhood doing my podcast. Or from the comfy confines of a gulag or concentration camp. Let's hope not. But that's the headline. Aileen Cannon, number 2 on the list. Number 1 is another puppet. Somebody who was a puppet SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission chairman under Donald Trump, when he wanted to hollow out the Securities and Exchange Commission and make them have no teeth, especially now that he has a publicly traded company that's violating the law left and right in Truth Social, course he wants somebody like Jay Clayton to take the Securities and Exchange Commission back. Used to be he was well considered at one time. He was the U.S. attorney in New York at one point, I think in Manhattan. But those days are long gone. He's not. He's there because of his loyalty to Donald Trump and no other reason. So he's being rumored for Attorney General. I mean, that would be slightly better than Aileen Cannon, but she's about as high up on the list as possible. So we're going to continue to follow it all. Started to stutter there. We're going to continue to follow it all on Legal AF. I got a new channel that I'm curating at the intersection of law and politics. In 34 days, we have 12 million views of our work over here. We're doing it in collaboration with the Midas Touch Network. Take a moment. Early voting is open. Free subscribe. Get other people to free subscribe. The bigger we get, the more your voice is heard. It's not ego, it's algorithm. And I'm bringing over some great people here as I curate the channel. I'm bringing over some of your favorites from the Midas universe, right? Superheroes without a cape, like Dina Dahl, who's co-anchoring a new show with me called Unprecedented about what else? The United States Supreme Court and our times, apparently. That's once a week, Unprecedented. Then we've got Court Accountability Action, CAA, led by Alex Aronson and the director of True North Investigative Reporting, Lisa Graves. They're here doing 4 or 5 hot takes a week with their own playlist, Court Accountability Action. We've got a whole bunch of other people. You like Under Color of Law? We've got that lawyer and his team coming over here, right here, and everything Legal AF is here. You can get the podcast, you can get the hot takes, you can get the short cakes, you can get the Michael Popok at the intersection, get it all. So I appreciate you being here and helping us build this channel together, this pro-democracy channel together. So until my next content on either the Midas Touch Network or on Legal AF, this is Michael Popok, and I am recording. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.